Okay, so today we're actually going to be talking about a case and a little bit of an update of it. So essentially with this case, what happened was you had two white parents who went and adopted black children. Now you would think that's great, that's fine. They're better off with them than in the foster care. That's what most people would think. However, what ended up happening was these two parents went and literally used these children as slaves and treated them as such. Now you may say, okay, many people use the expression, oh, you treat me like a slave out here. Oh, you treating me like, but literally their conditions that I'm going to describe with this article that I have provided, the conditions that they were in, the way they were treated, the environment overall that they were in, everything, terrible. But the update to this story, the kicker to this, the family members are saying, well, yeah, all this information's out here. Everything's present. But they're not bad people now. Okay, so let's get into said story. It says, not racist. Family defends couple who use black adopted kids as their slaves. All right. And loved ones are defending the West Virginia couple who allegedly used their black adopted children as slaves, locking them in a barn and forcing them to perform farm labor. You locked them in a barn, and we're going to get into the rest of the terrible, terrible details to the story. But you're forcing them to perform farm labor as well. Donald Ray Lance, 63 years old, and Janine K. Whitefeather, 62 years old, were initially arrested in October following a wellness check during which authorities found two of the couple's 5 adopted children who were black locked in a shed on their Sissonville property. Authorities said the shed only had a small porta potty and no running water. A 16-year-old child told authorities that she had been locked in a building for roughly 12 hours and was last given food at around 6 a.m. So you put them in this little barn shed thing. There's a porta potty, no running water, barely had food. 12 hours ago, you had food. They're not treating you well, obviously. This is terrible. And this is supposed to be your adopted child. A 14-year-old boy. So we got a 16 and a 14. A 14-year-old boy was found with open sores on his bare feet. So no shoes. Both children were dirty and smelled of body odor. That's what authorities said. The teenagers also stated that they were forced to sleep on the concrete floor without a mattress or padding. In court, Whitefeather, that's the mother, that's the woman, claimed that the shed was a teenage clubhouse and the children were not locked inside. However, neighbors also reported that the children were forced to perform farm labor because they can see that you got black kids out here doing farm labor. And were not permitted inside the residence. So you have neighbors who are also saying, I've never seen these kids. I've seen them do a whole bunch of work, hardly getting any food, hardly getting any water. And to top it off, I have never seen them go in that house. Okay? The couple's indictment alleges they specifically targeted the black children and forced them to work. Now, it said that they have 5 adopted children. 2 were black. We ain't hearing anything about the other 3, so I'm assuming the other 3 were in the house. So you had the county circuit judge. Her name is May Claire Akers, and this is what she said. It alleges human trafficking, human rights violation, and the use of forced labor. All right. Human rights violations specific to the fact that these children were targeted because of their race, and they were basically used as slaves from what the indictment alleges. Okay. So you had Lance, the male, and Whitefeather, the female, adopted parents, have pleaded not guilty to several charges, including human trafficking of a minor child, use of a child in forced labor, and child neglect, creating substantial risk of serious bodily injury or harm. Then apparently the friends and loved ones have stated the couple is not guilty and not racist. So you have 5 kids, only 2 are black. You treat the 2 that are black like crap, literally. You leave them in a barn shed, kept them there for however long. You never allowed them to come into the house. They were the you know. You had the house, you know what. You had the field, you know what. Okay, that's how you're treating them. You apparently you're not treating the other kids in this manner either. Okay, you are having a porta potty, no running water, hardly feeding them anything. Obviously, they're hardly getting anything to drink either, and they're locked in the shed. And the neighbors are seeing that they're doing forced manual labor, and they're 14, 16 years old. But they're good people though. That this is not racially driven according to them, and they can't be guilty because I mean, come on, they need to get work done, right? Okay. Marcus Hughes, White Feather's brother, okay, this is the woman's brother, told the outlet that his sister and her husband are the least racist people around, yet they had these two children, black, perform these certain tasks, and the family is co-signing all this. Racism is something that is taught. No one, in my eyes, are born just racist. No baby, that comes out is like, I don't like black people. That's not a thing. That stuff is taught. So you obviously, your friends and your family, in my opinion, you're looking at this and you're thinking, yeah, this is where y'all should be. Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with this? Y'all should be out here in the field. Y'all should be working for us for free. What's the problem? Well, this is the problem. And the family and friends obviously don't see that as being a problem because they were taught that this was okay. All right. And obviously you were able to actually execute it. He also said, the brother, they've been made out to be monsters, which is not true. You're supposed to be innocent until you are found guilty. Well, that never is the case, especially with a lot of black people and just people in general with different crimes that are committed. You would have people who there's no evidence provided yet, and then they're vilified. You're guilty before proven. You're guilty. It's like, well, how is that even possible if we're supposed to be innocent before guilty? But we're actually seeing you straight up, okay? Now you got public opinion, that's different. But we're actually seeing you straight up commit crimes, okay? We're seeing this. You have your neighbors that are testifying, saying, yeah, I'm seeing that this is happening. I didn't know everything that was going on, but we seen what was going on. All right. Just because nobody's told her side of the story does not make her guilty. There were issues in the neighborhood because white people were raising black kids. Now the brother is saying that crime has risen because you have white people adopting black kids, and the black kids are obviously the problem, even though you guys are the parents and you're supposed to be making sure that the kids are being taught a certain way, but you're obviously not doing that. Let me know what it is that you all feel about that story down below.